Today we're going to be looking at comparing sets. This is the second of a two-part video. The first part you can find in the description box below. So what does it mean to compare? Compare means to examine the difference between numbers or quantities. So we're trying to find out if it's greater than, if it's smaller than, or if it's equal to. Let's look at some terms that will come up in this video later on. So the first one is equivalent. That just means same. Another one is greater than. Just think about the word more. We also have the term less than. So think about smaller than. Also, we have another term, equal to. That just means same, and it's just another term for equivalent. So once you see equal or equivalent, it just means same. Not equal to, just think about the word different. Okay, so not equal to, less than, greater than, and equivalent are some terms that we are going to be seeing in this video. Now let's look at some sets. Here we have quite a few groups. We have some pineapples, some cherries, some lemons, and some smiley faces. Now, I've given each group a name. Set A or set B. So each group has a name. The lemons, set A, set B. The cherries, set A, set B. The smiley faces, set A, set B. Now what we're going to do with these groups is to compare them. We're going to see which set has the greater amount. And in the pineapples, we have set A with 4 and set B with 6. Now, which group has more? Is it 4, set A, or is it 6, set B? Which is the greater amount? Six is the greater amount. Yes, 6 is greater than 4. So I'll just put a little tick right in set B. Let's look at the lemons. In set A, we have 9 lemons. In set B, we have 6 lemons. But we want to find the set that has the greater amount. The set that has more. Is it set A with 9 or is it set B with 6? 9. Set A has more. Set A is greater than set B. Let's look at the cherries. In set A, we have 12 cherries. And in set B, we have 8 cherries. Now we want to see which set has the greater amount. Is it 12 that's in set A or 8 in set B? It is set A. Set A has 12 and 12 is greater than 8. What about the smiley faces? Set A has 2 and set B has 5. So which set has the greater amount? Is it set A or set B? Is it 2 or is it 5? It is 5. Is greater than 2. So here we have all the sets that are greater. Now let's look at some other sets. This time though, we are going to look at the sets that have the smaller amount. Now here we have set A, set B. We have given each set a name, set A, set B, but we're going to be looking at the apples first. Set A has 3 apples and set B has 6 apples. And we're looking for the smaller amount. Which set has the smaller amount? Set A has the smaller amount. Set A has 3. 3 is smaller than 6. What about set A and set B, the bicycles? Set A has 16 bicycles and set B has 12 bicycles. Now, which one has the smaller amount? Is it 16 in set A or is it 12 in set B? 12. Set B has the smaller amount. So here we see the sets with the smaller amount. Now that you're able to identify the greater amount and the smaller amount, we are going to be using the signs that represent greater and less. Now the yellow square has the greater than sign and the blue square has the less than sign. Now look at these sets. Set A has 8 balls. Set B has 6 balls. Now we're going to use the sign to compare these two sets. Which sign are we going to put in the middle? Is 5 less? Is 8 less than 6 or greater than 6? Greater. So here we have a greater than sign. 8 is greater than 6. And usually when we use the greater than sign, it means that the first group is greater. And the sign is going to be pointing at the smaller group. Let's look at the other one. We have 7 balls in set A, and we have 9 balls in set B. Now, which sign are we going to put to compare these two sets? 7 and 9. Are we going to put the greater than or the less than sign? Okay, less than sign. Because the first group has a smaller amount. 7 is smaller than 9. So we usually use the less than sign when the first group has the smaller amount. Let's look at another sign here. Now this sign is called the equal to sign. Now we use this sign when both groups have the same amount. So let's work on these groups, set A and set B. In set A and set B, we have some combs. So let's see, 15 combs in set A, 15 combs in set B. What can you say about these two sets? They both have 15. Therefore, the sign that we're going to be placing is the equal sign, because we use the equal sign when the sets have the same amount. 15 is the same as 15. 15 is equal to 15. Let's look at the other one. 9 corns in set A, 9 in set B. What do you notice about these two sets? They have the same amount. When the sets have the same amount, we use the equal to sign. So this will say 9 is equal to 9, or 9 is the same as 9. So we use the equal to sign when we have sets with the same amount. Now let's look at another sign. It looks similar to the equal sign. The only difference is it has a slash going down through the two horizontal lines. Now let's see what we're going to be using this sign for. The sign is called not equal to. So we're going to be using this sign now with groups that are not the same. So this group has 7 items or members, and the other group has 11 members or items. Are they the same? Do they have the same amount? No, that means they are not equal. They are not the same. So we will place between these two groups the not equal to sign. And that will tell us that 7 is not equal to 11. 7 is not equal to 11. In set A, there are 3. In set B, there are 6. Now look carefully. Can we see both set A and set B with the same amount? No, we cannot. Therefore, they are not equal because they do not have the same amount. So we need to place the not equal sign between both sets. And it reads 3 is not equal to 6. So the equal sign is completely different from the not equal sign. They are totally different, opposites. Now let's practice. This time, we're not going to be using members or objects. We're going to be using numbers. So we're going to use now the greater than sign and the less than sign to compare these numbers that we have here. Remember that if the set begins with a greater number, then you must use the greater than sign. But if it begins with a smaller number, then you choose the less than sign. So let's look at these two. 1 is 14, that's the first one. And it says 14 is greater than 12, or 14 is more than 12. As you can see, the sign points to the smaller number, but opens up to the bigger number. Let's look at the other one. 19 and 3. So one number is 19 and the other one is 3. As you can see, it begins with a greater number, and that's the clue. That's the clue to tell you which sign to put. the greater than sign. And it reads 19 is greater than 3. Or we can say 19 is more than 3. The next two, 16 and 10. Again, we see that 16 is greater than 10. So we are going to look for the greater than sign and ensure that it points to the smaller number and opens up to the bigger number. 16 is greater than 10. Now look at the next one. Let's see if you can figure out what sign goes there. 5 and 8. It begins with 5. And on the other side it has 8. Is the 5 bigger than the 8? Is the 5 greater than the 8? No, the 5 is smaller than the 8. So we are going to use the less than sign. See? The less than sign, it points to the smaller number, opens up to the greater number. So it reads 5 is less than 8. Let's look at the other one. 9 and 0. The first number is 9, the other one is 0. Is 9 greater than or less than 0? Greater than. So we place the greater than sign between the two numbers. Let's look at the last one. 4 and 15. It begins with 4, and on the other side we have 15. Is 4 greater than 15 or is 4 less than 15? It is less than, so we're going to choose the less than sign to place between both numbers. And it reads 4 is less than 15. Beautiful. We're not done because now we're going to be using the equal to sign and the not equal to sign. And we remember that we use the equal when both numbers are the same and the not equal when the numbers are not the same. Now, 9 and 15 are not the same. Therefore, we have to place between them the not equal sign. And it reads 6 is not equal to 15. What about the next one? 6 and 6. Both those numbers are the same. And that is why we put the sign equal. 6. Both those numbers are the same. And that is why we put the sign equal. And 11 and 17. 11 is not the same as 7. 11 and 7. 11 is not the same as 7. 11 is different from 7. They are unequal. What about 18 and 18? Oh, those are the same. Those are equal. 18 is equal to 18. Or we can say 18 is equivalent to 18. 1 and 17, are those the same? Are those equal? Are those equivalent? No. Those two numbers are not equal. 1 is not equal to 17. So we use the not equal sign. And the last one, 0, 0. These two numbers are equivalent. These two numbers are equal. These two numbers are the same. Okay, that's where I'm leaving you for now. Cheerio.